Big Rob's the hill Akeem. Akeem is a dream. You're doing Balco, that's the clear and the cream. A Flacco is a lead. Andreas for the street. You say you for the culture, but don't bring the heat. A Jimmy's a butler. A mid QB, we called it a J Cutler. A hustler's a flint. A Bayless is something you might wanna skip. Screaming dudes, they Stephen A. Smith. Sell out to Whitlock. When your stock is falling, that's a Madoff. Play y'all failed Dakota Prescott. You got blindsided, that's a Michael Orr. Your girl's a Jerry Jones, she's a Skeletor. Felling up is a Trump. A button is a pump it up. A LeBron is a Connery, the page of a book. My brother, what are you cheesing for? Oh, you being interviewed by Taylor Rooks. White girls ballin', that's a Caitlin Clark. The soundboard shuffle is Jokic cooking 80 at the top of the arc. R.I.P. Big L, one of the best rappers to ever do it. Headlines with your boy, Robert Littal. Normally, I would just do a regular video and edit it all up and upload it for you guys. But in the interest of time, I've decided to go live and share with you some exclusive information that I have received. Before I even get started, though, I want to point out that it is not my job to try to change your opinion. It is my job to give you the information, and then you do with it as you will. If you're interested in facts, not feelings, this is what I'm here for. Now, what I'm going to give to you are facts. This is not speculation. This is not me trying to get some clicks. This is not hot takes. These are facts. In the Shannon Sharpe, Gabriella, Carly case. Some of the stuff you already know. Some of the stuff has already been put out there by Tony Buzbee, Carly's lawyer, and by Shannon Sharpe's attorneys. There's a couple of things that you don't know. Just like today, I was the one to tell you that one of the second Shannon Sharpe accuser, Michelle, not that Michelle, had killed her husband and had spent some time in jail for that. A lot of people did not know that. I'm not saying that should change your opinion on anything, but I do think you should know if someone is being accused of something, if the accuser had murdered their spouse in the past with a knife. You stab it. It's just stab it. So, with that being said, let's get to the information. I might have to put my glasses on if I can't see. What I'm going to give you is a chronological timeline of events from Shannon Sharpe and Mrs. Gabriella's, Miss Gabby's relationship. These are things that Mr. Buzbee and Shannon Sharpe attorneys both agree on. So these are facts. I will tell you when there's some differentiation. Okay, here we go. Now, in the fall of 2022, that is when Shannon and Gabriella met at the gym in LA. At some point after some courting, she is made aware that he's Shannon Sharpe. Shannon is made aware that she's an OnlyFans user who drives a Porsche purchased with the money that she's made online at OnlyFans. And as someone who also has a Porsche, I guess she was making some pretty good money. I got the lowest version too. I think she got the 911, but that's neither here nor there.
There's some differentiation on if they were dating, aka going on dates, or if they were just in a sexual 50 Shades of Grey relationship. By October of 2023, which is about a year later, uh, Gabby is, you've seen the text where she asked Shannon to put a dog collar around her neck and choke me with it while you're effing. Also around March of 2023, um, Gabby asked Shannon to, or she let Shannon know that she had some handcuffs and wanted to use that. Here's where we get a little, I would say, interesting. You've seen those texts. You've seen the big black baby text. You've seen the, crave for it, I big, and all of this stuff, and the $25,000 per cheek. Here's where it gets interesting and where you may not know. This information has not been made publicly until right now. Shannon moved to Las Vegas in around August of 2024. When Shannon moves to Las Vegas, this is the time that Gabby, we just call it Gabby for now, Gabby starts sending texts to Shannon about wanting to have his big black baby and trying to get pregnant. Without letting Shannon know, she moved to Las Vegas herself after Shannon moved to Las Vegas. You could take with that as you please. So when Shannon moves to Las Vegas, she follows him out there to Las Vegas, trying to have Shannon's gravy baby. Shannon refuses to get her pregnant, and this is where it starts to get a bit interesting. In September of 2024, Gabby finds out or realizes that they're not exclusive. Shannon had said that they were never exclusive, but for whatever reason, she felt like they were exclusive. And in September of 2024, she realizes that they're not exclusive, they're not dating. He's not going to take her out to dinner. In the fall of 2024, this is when Gabby starts asking Shannon for money for sex. So this is when something has changed. This is when it has changed from just a regular, 50 Shades of Grey relationship to, if you want to have sex with me, you have to pay me a certain amount, of money for sex. That's the whole $25,000 cheek thing. She wanted to be paid for her activities. At this point, Shannon is like, yeah, I don't think I want to pay $25,000 for cheeks that I've been getting for free. Now, here's the interesting part. In November of 2024, Gabby tells Shannon that she's actually going to spend a couple of weeks in Houston, Texas. When she comes back from Houston is when the recording starts happening. Who's in Houston? Tony Buzbee, the lawyer. So in November, we have Gabby going to Houston for a couple of weeks. Then in January of 2025 is when we start to get the recordings, some of the audio recordings, apparently a video recording. This is after the visit to Houston. On January the 2nd, 2025, that's when Gabby and Shannon, are doing their thing. And that's when this recording, this video recording, takes place. Shannon says it was done without his permission, that he did not know that he was being recorded at the time. He just thought it was one of their hundred, according to him, according to the team, he's had over 100 type of sessions like this. And he just thought this was another one of the 100 sections. But this one was secretly recorded. Shortly thereafter, Gabby and Tony Buzbee get together and decide that they are going to use this video to negotiate with Shannon, or, have the actual lawsuit. So the issue here is in September, Gabby realizes that Shannon is dealing with other women. The next month, a couple of months after that, she goes to Houston mysteriously for 2 weeks. Then in January, she starts asking for $25,000 a cheek and starts recording telephone conversations and recording this sex video. After she records the sex video, goes back to Houston, gets back with Tony, allegedly back with Tony Buzbee. And then that's when we start our negotiation for the $50 million. So the question begs, was everything all good from fall of 2022 to September of 2024? But once Gabby realized that Shannon either in her mind cheated on her, or she just thought they were going to have a life together, or decided that they were going to have a baby, and whatever the case may be, did she go to Houston specifically to talk to Tony Buzbee or to talk to a lawyer, and then come back with the idea that she needed some actual evidence before you could put up some sort of demand? Those are facts. Now, what does it all mean in the grand scheme of things for Shannon Sharpe? I mean, that is Shannon Sharpe on the recordings. That is not AI. And it is Shannon Sharpe in the video. How the video's been chopped up, how the audio's been chopped up, that's a question that you have to answer for yourself. According to Buzbee, it is exactly what it says it is, which is Shannon Sharpe threatening, talking about choking people, the big black guy, little white girl choking. The sex tape is an actual assault against her will. The text are clear, the no means no. Whereas Shannon says this was all a manipulation once she got upset that he was dealing with other women. That the videos, the text messages, the audio has all been manipulated in a way to make it look like something that is not. That's why this other woman has come out, Michelle, not the Michelle. She had a case against Shannon 10 years ago. And once Gabby came out with her case, she was like, this is a good time for me to get back in the news. And has been going around to a lot of different media outlets to try to tell her story. Once again, it's not saying that her story is incorrect or that it's not true. It is just some things need to be pointed out about, said story. With the specific one that she, was in jail for killing her husband under mysterious circumstances. Also, that initial case was dismissed a while back. She refiled it under a defamation lawsuit in 2023. It hasn't really went anywhere since then. Shannon's team says that she's just trying to, hop on the bandwagon for this, trying to resurrect a case. And Shannon's going to have to probably worry about other things coming out for that. Cruel wants to know, even if the audio isn't chopped, if they were in a BDSM relationship, wouldn't we expect to hear something that sounds like a song? Well, that's the issue. I mean, I don't know how many of you are into the whips and the chains and that type of freaky type of sex. If you're into that type of stuff and you're into that type of role playing, if people wouldn't, don't understand the aspects of your relationship, a video, an audio could definitely make something look like it's not. Marcus, please. I'm live. This is why I don't like to go live. Dogs. So, in that instance, it definitely could look like that. But then the flip side of that, Cruel, is even if you're in one of those type of relationships, at any time a woman can say, that's enough. Or no, I don't want to do it. Or, I'm not, tonight is not tonight. And if you continue to do it, then obviously that would be a crime. Let's see here. What we could truly criminal. What is that, Aaron Judge? I will accept your questions if you have specific questions about the case that you want facts, not feelings. I will answer them to the best of my ability. It says what we can truly gather from this is that Unc is a freakazoid. This is my opinion right here. This is not a fact or anything. My opinion is they are using what I like to call the Eminem defense from 8 Mile. Is if you put out the information first, then the other side can't really use it against you. So if they point out that Shannon has these kinks that aren't illegal, by the way, and they put it all out, hey man, he likes to, he likes to do the whips and chains, he likes to do the bondage. Shannon has made has not tried to hide, what he likes about women, younger women, women in general. If you put that information out first, it kind of hurts what Tony Buzbee can then put out, about you. Once again, being a freakazoid is not a crime. You can have your own opinion on the age gap. Clearly, I think people have their opinions, on that. But from a legal perspective, the only thing that really matters is, did she actually say no, and did he continue to go on? And that's the real crux if you get around all of the drama to it. Let's see who we got here. We got Chris Anderson. Where's Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar. Black Queens forever. Snow bunnies never. Said he would support Uncle Shannon as long as he gives up the bunnies. He would support Uncle Shannon as long as he gives up the bunnies. He'll support Uncle Shannon as long as he gives up the bunnies. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know what to tell you. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is an Ohio State sweater. I'm an Ohio State alum. What we got here? Is the $100 million deal done? No. Shannon is still under the Colin Cowherd volume brand. I am not sure when that contract comes up. I'm not sure if these particular incidents will even have an effect on that deal, and I tell you why. The podcasting world is different than broadcast television, okay? You know, ESPN is owned by Disney. That's a major corporation. A lot of the podcast money comes from places that maybe don't care about this type of thing. Actually, they may see it as a bonus because think about it like this. Let's say he gets some sort of podcast deal and it's a bunch of money, and the first episode is him talking about this incident with Dr. Umar. You'd watch that, wouldn't you? Let's say Shannon and Dr. Umar. Maybe if I'm going to the podcast company and they say, Shannon, man, what's going on, man? And he's like, look, man, they're trying to blackmail me. They're like, well, what's your plan? So, well, my plan is to do a sit down with Dr. Umar and Joe Button and Stephen A. Smith for my first episode. Now, here's your 100 million. Here's your 100 million. Here's your 100 million. Tony, do you think he's cooked? Absolutely not. Because we're in our Trump era. You understand what I'm saying? If this happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe. But we're in our Trump era now, where the worst stuff actually can be beneficial for you in the long run. I think it's going to be tricky with ESPN. But if I got $100 million podcast deal, what do I need ESPN for? I never thought, this is my opinion. Once again, it's my opinion. I always tell you when it's my opinion. I never thought Shannon Sharpe needed ESPN. I thought ESPN needed Shannon Sharpe. You understand what I'm saying? He was hot at the time that they brought him in. He brings in his own audience. I don't think Shannon needs ESPN, and he was only on there 2 days a week for a couple of hours. I think if he keeps his podcast deal, he keeps Club Shay Shay, he keeps Nightcap, he continues on with that type of branding. I think he'll be fine. Let's see what we got here. We got another question. What are the chances this might have been a misunderstanding? On January 6th, Shannon thought they were doing this. I mean, that's possible. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. He says everything was consensual. Everything was the way that it was supposed to be, the way that it had been. Nothing was different that time or any other time. So I can't speak for him on that and say what he might or might not thought. I can't speak for her. If she's telling the truth or not telling the truth, all I can do is present you guys the facts that I know, and you have to make your opinion. I mean, the fact that she chose Tony Buzbee, that's a choice. That's a choice. The fact that she allegedly has video and didn't go to the police, that's a choice. One of the issues with those cases when you go to the cops is normally there's no evidence. It's always he said, she said. Nobody was there. Nobody witnesses. Nobody, there's nothing. She has a videotape. So if she has a videotape that apparently is showing an actual assault, one would think you can go to the cops and say, here's your evidence right here. And that's in my opinion. A CLVSS, no matter what is true, its image is tarnished. I think that you never want to be known for whatever your worst day is. And obviously nobody wants all of their bedroom stuff to get out in the public. But we're not perfect people. And when you live your life in public, especially in public in 2025, there's always, and I'm not speaking for Shannon specifically. I want to make sure I point that out. But in 2025, if you're successful, there are going to be individuals that want to see your downfall. And if you don't move a certain way, you let those individuals come up on you. I used to have a saying that, always, watch your back, keep your wallet in your front pocket and watch your back. But I learned that sometimes it's right in front of your face, the people that you have to watch out for. So you would hope that, if this is not true, that he's able to move on. And it's just one of those things that's, when you talk about him in the long run, when it's all said and done, it's just a part of the story, but not the entire story. Someone had a rumor that he lost his chance. Not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be as easy. May not be $100 million. Look, let me tell you something about business people that you may not know. There's a man right now or a woman right now that's in head of the podcast division or whatever, right? That's thinking to themselves, A, they don't care about Shannon Sharpe. A, they don't care about Miss Gabby. A, they don't care about Michelle. A, they don't care about tapes. All they care about right now is that, maybe we can get Shannon for 50 million instead of 100 million because of what happened. That's how business people think. They don't care about this. Maybe we can get them for 45 million now, or maybe we can get them at a discount now because leverage. You know what I'm saying? It's all about leverage. So just think about that. Just think about that. So maybe not. We've seen celebrities come back. Yeah, it's like I said, we're in our Trump era. In your Trump era, I think you're able to get away with a little more things than your non-Trump era. I would tell him just to go MAGA. I mean, if he just wanted just to get himself totally out, just go MAGA. MAGA people support their people through hell and high water. That's not necessarily on the other side. So I mean, if he really feels like he's in trouble, he should go MAGA. Yeah, I'm not lying. These facts. So the scandal involving Stephen A. Smith, Molly, and Stephen A. Smith's girlfriend just went away and didn't draw enough attention. Now Shannon got a scandal that got to be distraction. Stephen A. Smith, I'm unfamiliar, and I'm familiar with pretty much everything. I'm unfamiliar with this particular scandal that you are referring to. If you can leave another comment and kind of explain yourself. I know there was some quote unquote rumors about Stephen A. Smith and Molly when Jalen and the Jalen Rose divorce, and they kind of squashed all of that. I have no idea about Stephen A., Molly, and Stephen A.'s girlfriend, but I don't hear everything. Yeah, hey, we talk facts. We're talking facts, not feelings here. Okay, we're talking facts, not feelings. Let's see where I 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Bubba was trying to Deshaun Watson to play Buzbee, make it kind of about sex and hope it pays. Well, and I think we talked about this, Randy, is that Tony Buzbee's a numbers game. He's not a bad lawyer, but what he does, the play is pretty obvious to anybody. If we want to be honest on here, right? We talk about facts, not feelings. We're being honest. Buzbee's play is always pretty much the same. It's you find one person and then hope that some others come around it to strengthen your case. Buzbee doesn't. The way it works and is Buzbee don't want to go to trial. He doesn't want the truth to come out. He don't want real answers. He wants the settlement. The more people that you have, the bigger settlement that you get. Deshaun Watson's, I think they had wanted just $100,000 just to make the first one go away. See, if you're Jay-Z and your back end is fairly clean, you can fight something like that. If you're Deshaun Watson and you have an inkling that there may be more skeletons in your closet, you got to pay. Shannon, I assume, wanted to pay, and people say, well, why do you want to pay $10 million if he's innocent? Well, the reason is now. I've done live streams before. I never had 1,500 people in here. That's the reason why he wanted to pay. It's not about guilt sometimes. It's about just not having to deal with what comes up. That's why he wanted to pay. Yeah. I think Shannon's defense of, I'm a freak, but there's no crime in that. And I feel like people that live their life in the public and are honest with who they are, you get a better break of what people think about you. Because why would you lie? If you're willing to tell people You like the snow. You're a milkman. You're an RG3. Okay, that's fine. Just be honest about it. Don't hide it. You're a milk merchant. You like young butterface, you know, white girls with angled booties. I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. You shouldn't have to pay $50 million for it if you didn't do anything, though. I think we can all agree that some of the decision making here was not the best. Yeah, these players don't need ESPN. ESPN needs them. And in essence, yes. I mean, Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer. I mean, ESPN gave him almost $7 million a year to basically show up 2 times a week. that tells you all you need to know. If ESPN called me and said, "Hey, we want you to come on First Take," they give me $1,000 because they be helping me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Rob's on First Take. Oh, that's big stuff. I do that stuff. Stephen A. By the way, you need to put me on. Unless you scared of the smoke. At least put some young brothers on. Unless you're scared of the smoke. Probably scared. I didn't hear nothing about Stephen A. Smith. I don't know where he got that from. I've never heard that before. Salute BSO. Man, listen. I'll tell you guys something. And I don't say this often because I don't like to get all emotional and stuff. But I appreciate you guys. I really do. I really do. I really do. There's no way that I can still be around doing what I'm doing 20 years later without you guys. You guys stood by me through thick and thin and hell and high water and supported my site and supported what videos and all that. You keep me, relevant, and what I try to do is in turn make sure that you are heard, that your voices are heard. Not just the people that are just out there just saying all type of stupid stuff. I try to make sure your voices are heard. I still like to fight for you guys. Even though there were times I was like, something, I'm screwing everybody. No, I'm not going to do that. And someone once told me, why would you spend your energy on 10 haters when you got 100 people that love you? Why are you spending your time on 10 instead of the 100? And I took that to heart because I know I got some haters. I know I got some people that pray on my downfall, but I know I got thousands and thousands and thousands of people who supported me, who stayed with me, who hung in there with me through thick and thin. And so that's why I keep doing, what I'm doing. Buzbee go hard after the black man. Trump go after the DEI programs. Look, Buzbee, and I've done my research on him. I mean, this is what he does. I mean, he did some stuff with some oil spills and stuff like that. He just realized he just got into he like Gloria Allred. He just got into the sports and entertainment game. He has over 100 clients for Diddy. Like, I know Diddy probably did some freaky stuff, but I don't know if Diddy did stuff to 150 people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Travis Scott, he got Travis Scott lawsuit at 150, 200 people. I know there's a lot of people at that concert. I don't know if 200 was really messed up by it. I mean, it's a numbers game with him. It's a numbers game. Buzbee's a scumbag, but his play is genius. Statistically, if the man has done something salacious once, he's done it with other people in the past. It's nasty, but it's a numbers game. It's a number. I read every single Deshaun Watson lawsuit and accusation. I believe there was something like anywhere between 20 to 30. I read every one. I don't remember the exact number. I can tell you, this is my opinion. This is not fact. It's just my opinion. Out of the 20, 25, 30 that I read, about 7, you're like, okay, that sounds about right. And there was some that just, I mean, it sounded like a fiction novel. It just didn't find, it wasn't, no. But once again, one is one too many. Oh, maybe he meant the Joy Taylor Acho Fox executive story. Hey, what's up, E-Dub? Maybe. I mean, that was, as someone that has been in the world of Fox and been in the world of ESPN on the peripherals, they handle things a little differently. Okay, let's just say there's a little more rope over at Fox. Don't forget, Fox is headed by Rupert Murdoch. Okay, one of the biggest Trump guys and Republican guys in the world. They handle things a little bit differently over at Fox than they do at ESPN. ESPN is what I like to call a reactive um, organization. They react to stuff. They're not really proactive; they're reactive. Where Fox is more like high the ratings. You know, what's the are people watching? Whereas ESPN reacts to everything. Oh, is Jamel Hill and Michael Smith? They too black. We got to get rid of them. Oh no, he's too MAGA. We got to get rid of him. Oh no. Oh, Stephen A. Smith said something. Oh no, it's our reaction depending on the wave, right? And we're in the Trump wave right now, which may save Shannon when it comes football season, but we will see. We will see. There was a lawyer on the Dan Laboratory show that broke down why men settle. It's more of a financial business decision as admission of guilt. If you're Jay-Z, you could fight the case. I got a few dollars, I could fight the case. If you're others, and one scandal can derail your entire career, one scandal could possibly derail $100 million. I mean, we're talking math at this point. If I know I got $100 million sitting here, right here, this is my $100 million, and even though I know this person is lying, but $10 million will shut them up. NDA, never heard about it ever. 110 minus. I mean, we don't need a calculator. I mean, 90 million. True story about First Take is that it's so funny because years ago, this is probably 2017, 2018, I told them what they're doing right now is exactly what I had pitched to them like 8 or 9 years ago. Back when it was just, I think, Skip and I'm not Skip, when it was Steven and Max. I said, you know something? During slow times, you should rotate in host. Uh, you should rotate in hosts like popular social media hosts and popular people. You rotate them in, and give it a fresh, a little fresh thing because people like to see fresh, faces, and they liked my idea, and they start bringing in rappers though instead. They didn't bring me in; they brought in rappers, and then when Max left, what did they do? Then you start seeing JJ Redick, and you start seeing the other young ladies that were on there, and Dan Orlovsky and stuff. Everything that I told them to do, they did it, but I can't even front them. They did it in house. They kept it all in house. They didn't give nobody outside the house any opportunities. That's a true story. Yeah, that's true story. Mm. Yeah, meet me in Temecula. I created the Twitter story. So when you see people telling that weird story, I created that with meet me in Temecula. People didn't used to tell well, they probably do it too much now, their personal lives and things like that until then. The Watson stuff was just done. There are plenty of massage parlors you can go to if that's your bag. He was just being stupid. Probably. I mean, yeah. I mean, there are ways for athletes without me, snitching or anything, that whatever weird kinks that they have, they can definitely find someone to handle that for them. Uh, he's getting married though. That's real love. Um, apparently, that's real. That's real love. So, in conclusion, um, the part that a lot of people don't understand is that this accuser went to Houston a couple of months before actually uh, recording all of these audio recordings and recording all of these the sex tape and everything. And we don't know exactly what she did in Houston for those 2 weeks, but what we do know is that she came back in January, records this sex tape, starts asking Shannon for a lot of money, and then just a couple of days later, already it seems like she was set up with Buzbee. And I tell you why that's interesting is because no lawyer is going to talk to somebody on a Monday and try to get $50 million from them on a Tuesday. You understand what I'm saying? You have to vet, you have to make sure this person actually knows the person. You have to go through the text messages, watch the video on let me pull it back up just so you can understand what I'm saying. On hold on, here we on in January 2nd is when the video was recorded. And in that same month, not too long after that, is when Buzbee goes to Shannon and his representatives with the video asking for the money. It's just too quick of a turnaround unless you've had some months in advance to plan and we're just waiting for some potential evidence to come through. So take with that as you may. We're in the social media era now. Everybody wants me to send their attention, bad or good. It's what's a good way of saying this? Um, it's a very interesting time. Okay, it's a very very interesting and somewhat scary time out there, especially if you're a public figure. So take with that as you want. Once again, these are facts, not feelings. It's not my job to try to change your opinion. I have an opinion, but my job is to give you the facts, what I know, what I know is true, what I know is factual, and then you make the decision on what you feel about the situation. Remember, there's three different things that are happening here, and you have to separate them. Okay? The first thing is this is a civil lawsuit. And a civil lawsuit is not as hard to prove as a criminal lawsuit. And a civil lawsuit is just you just have to have just a little bit of guilt, and it can get out of control pretty quickly. A criminal case has other things that are involved. There's a higher burden of proof. That's why you see a lot of people going civil instead of going criminal. Lastly, you have to be able to separate. This is very, very important. Your moral standing on certain things and the actual legal stuff that is going on. The moral standing, that's a personal thing. How you feel about interracial relationships, age gaps, OnlyFans models, somebody 19 years old on OnlyFans, somebody 55 years old with it. All of that stuff are moral issues, okay, that you can discuss and have your own opinion on that have nothing to do with the legal side of this particular case. With the legal side, you have to look at the facts. You have to look at the facts and say, okay, based on these facts, do I think that this person has been assaulted, abused, deserves $50 million? And if I do think that person has been abused, assaulted, and deserved $50 million, why is Shannon Sharpe in jail? Because if you think that he should give him $50 million, that means you believe that's what's happening. If you believe that's what's happening, that means he should be in jail. So you have to take your moral stuff, throw it out this way, your legal stuff, put it right here, and then determine on what you believe happened. You can have a moral opinion that doesn't quite conflict with the legal, but I mean that's just the way things are. So that's really what you have to determine. If I have information, I will provide it to you. I see what's going on social media because this is a high profile figure. This is a high profile situation. And I'll be honest with you, and I've told you this before. The people that you see on Instagram and doing the tweets and the, oh my God, here's another man. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God. All they care about are the views, the engagement, Elon's money, Zuckerman's, Meta, Facebook's money, their check. They don't care about Shannon. They don't care about Gabby. They don't care about anything. They care about saying the most explicit thing to you to get you to interact with that. And if you want to interact with that, that's particularly fine. But in this particular case, when I give you information, it's just going to be the facts. It's not going to be any feelings. I don't have any type of judgment towards anyone. I don't have any type of agenda. Those days for me are gone. I posted enough Kardashian stuff over the years, so I don't really have to do that anymore. Okay. So hopefully I helped you out. Hopefully you understand, more about what's going on. You know where you can find me at BSO on Twitter, blacksportsonline.com, all of the other social media spaces. I'm out there. I got something coming for you later in the year, cross fingers, that's gonna change the game. So keep keep it on. And have a good weekend. Don't drink and drive. I hope Elijah Arenas is okay. Don't trip off Shador Sanders. He's gonna be all right. Perfect timing. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Don't worry about that. Don't let these media people get you all riled up. Don't let these Trump people get you all riled up. You're gonna be all right. We're gonna be okay. We've survived a lot. Well, I mean, I guess we have survived a lot worse. If they could bring back slavery, they probably would.